What is going on, everybody? My gain is so high that would have blown your ears out. I'm kind of sorry, like full maxed out then. But what's happening, everybody? Episode 54. So we've done over a year now. This is now one more than a year. But
Yeah.
we've had two breaks because I went on holidays. As you can see, got a little bit burnt, and I'm wearing my new soccer top. Massive
Oh,
one.
pretty in pink. I like it.
Yeah.
Love pink.
Get around it. You.
You. All right, man.
So yeah. So we're here. We're here. I watched a number of my thingos on the plane, and it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So quick trip to Bali, and Lawson stayed here.
Any highlights?
Um,
Any big moments or just the same old good times?
well, I didn't pack jocks and I only had one pair of jocks for the
Did you
whole
buy
time.
more?
I did try and buy more, but the extra large in Bali is not always the same size as everywhere else. So
Right. It's still small here.
yeah, so I got them over my calves and I got to my quads, and it did not get over my quads. So the extra large pair of jocks that I bought was a 3-pack too. They they just hung around my knees. Fun
Jesus.
times. Fun
So
times.
you had one pair. Did you go just commando heaps of the days?
Yeah, so I wore them the first day and then I had to wash them, and then they were wet the next day, and then I got to, space it out. So funny, funny times.
Nice one.
Yeah. But yeah.
Congrats.
Anyway, we've
That's the
just
highlight. No highlights. Just had to wear jocks
it's
multiple times.
just giggling. But because I only had one pair of jocks, I had to watch One Piece. See that segue? It's got one in it.
It's got one in it. Sure does.
Anything.
It's got a number.
Anything to get in there. So
Oh
we've
my
got
god.
the new live action One Piece, which is
Dude.
springing into you, Gum Gum Bazooka. That might mean something to you soon. And then we've got the Monkey King, the newest Netflix telling of the journey to the west, about the monkey that rebels against the gods. And then we've got the newest DC superhero film, which you have been so excited to see, which is
I know.
Blue Beetle. So
Yep. It really
big,
blew me away.
because it's blue. We
Get it?
blue. No. Let's move on. So, so we haven't done movie news for. Did we do movie news for the 1 year? I can't
No, we
remember.
didn't.
No,
No,
we
we got
didn't.
straight into it. Because
Yeah,
I said,
so
"Do you want to do it?" And you're like, "I haven't organized it, so we didn't." Which is fine.
yeah. So I'm really letting my things out of the bag these days. So we're all
It's
in.
fun.
We're all in. We're all in. We're all in.
We're all
So,
in.
yep. Maybe I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on. We've got to movie news. Movie news is here, and it's here to stay, and we're back. So we haven't done it for a little while, so there's going to be a number of them. But remember Chicken Run, the Chicken Run
Yes,
film?
I've
Yeah,
heard.
there is a Chicken Run 2 Netflix
Yep.
sequel coming out. I didn't really
With
like Chicken Run.
Oh, really? I thought it was great.
No.
I love it.
Mm,
It has zero of the original cast. Like no
no.
one's reprising their role. It might as well not even called Chicken Run 2.
It is. It's called Chicken Run 2.
I understand, but I'm saying it might as well not be because it's not Chicken Run 2. I also, my fear is that it's going to be computer generated stop motion rather than,
Like Wallace and Gromit
actual stop
style.
motion. Yeah, it better be real OG stop motion. Otherwise, stop latching onto things that already exist and are pretty successful and making them bad.
Okay, yeah.
We'll
Well,
see.
the picture looks like it's stop motion, but who knows?
Yeah, I actually
Who
haven't seen much about it yet.
knows?
But yeah, I just heard that.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it and I was like, yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Pixar's newest flop, Elementals, is arriving on Disney Plus on the 13th of September, which is next week, which
All right.
it's actually not too bad of a film. Like we saw it at the
Okay.
film at the cinemas. We took the kids, and it was
Of
actually
course.
it wasn't too bad. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Mm, mm,
The
mm.
last like Disney Pixar I watched, I guess, was probably Inside Out, I'm thinking.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that was below average.
Yep. Yep.
No, I
I
don't
didn't really
care.
like it. Well, we've got a new L. Ross American Holiday Horror, which is Thanksgiving, has its first teaser. So yeah, it could be
That
okay.
means a lot to me. Say that again. What's it called?
It's called Thanksgiving, and it's L. Ross American Holiday Horror. So like I'm kind of interested. Is going to be like one of those mock sort of is going to be a turkey that's killing people. It's like stop eating me, and it's like
Okay.
like gobbles them up or something. Like is it something like is that where they're going with it? Like
No idea,
I
hey.
don't know
I
I
can't
don't
even
know.
find it.
Don't worry about it. But
Oh, Eli Roth.
yeah, yeah, him. What did I say?
Gotcha. I swear you said L. Ross.
El Roths, Eli,
It's
E
Eli.
Ross. Yeah, potato.
Um, yeah, I don't dislike Eli Roth. Hostel, I think he did the first one or the second
Yeah,
one.
I liked Hostel.
Um,
It was different for the time, and then
Cabin Fever,
all the clonies jumped on there. It was like torture. What do they call it? Torture porn, pretty
Torture
much.
Porn. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what it all became.
yeah. So
Like the new Saw.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli has a
Okay.
new trailer out, and I actually watched the trailer because I saw a TikTok of it, and I was like, oh "My God, this looks incredible!" So it actually looks like all of the Studio Ghibli films are all coming together. Like it looks like Howl's Moving Castle, like all of them
Okay.
into one. Like the trailer looks really, really cool. It's taken 7 years for this to all come together. Like it looks
So what do you mean?
sick.
It's like all the universes coming together in one movie.
Well, it looks like you know how each of the films has a different sort of, I guess, not really art style, but has like a different element sort of to it. So you have like the dust mites in Totoro, How's Moving
Oh, sure.
Castle, like all of it
And
looks like it's all
the
to
forest spirits in Mononoke.
yeah, like it looks like it's
Yeah.
all coming together in this one film. Like there's all bits and pieces, which looks incredible.
Yeah.
It's called The Boy and the Horizon.
All right.
Yeah, it looks
We'll
sick.
see. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a Ghibli fan. I got my first Ghibli tattoo last week ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Ooh, where was it?
On the inside of my arm. It's like up here.
Yeah.
It's Snorlax and Totoro in like a bowl of ramen, just hanging out eating. It's nice. It's
Are
cute.
they in it?
Yeah, they're like in a bowl of ramen. Those who are in
Eat
the Discord, go check out the Tats Chat channel. There's a
and
picture of it in there.
they're eat. Okay, yeah, I'm confused by that, but it doesn't matter. It's
You go look
not.
it up.
No,
It's in the Discord.
I'm not doing it
You're
right
part of the Discord.
now. I'll do it later. It is
You're
my
not right
Discord.
fucking now. I mean later.
You just told me to do it. Ah. But Stray, the video game, there is a movie adaptation in the works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the cat that
Yeah,
wanders
yeah.
around.
It's on Xbox
But
now. I mean to play it. Next, find an Xbox. My partner will play it, so we'll get around to it soon.
oh yeah, there's also a new Strays movie out, which is voiced by Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I paused. I'm like, there's already a movie, Strays. Oh yeah, that's different.
Mm, mm,
Um, yeah, which we are watching next week.
yeah. So Stray and Strays. Do not get confused with which one it is.
Yeah.
Mm.
I have a piece of movie news just to name and shame.
Oh yeah.
Um, Danny. Oh my God, not
Trejo.
McBride. No. Oh, what the fuck? I'm so annoyed.
What?
I looked this up a second ago just to find out the final facts, and now I can't.
Mm.
OBS is freaking out. Uh, Masterson, Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson hired from the '70s show. That '70s show.
Yeah.
Has been convicted of rape and is going to jail for 30 years.
Oh, is that
Fuck him.
the bloke with the afro?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yep. The
Yeah.
yeah. So fuck him. Just wanted to name and shame. Piece of shit deserves it. It's good to know that sometimes celebrities don't get away with shit like this. So
That's
a
good.
long time coming. He should have been convicted a long time ago for similar accusations, but it's good that someone's finally, pulled the trigger and cunts in jail until he's in his late 70s. He's 47. So yeah, late 70s. Fuck him.
Yeah, there you
Anyway,
go. I
moving
did.
on.
I don't know. I didn't follow any of that, but like as it
Yeah.
unfolded. But there you go. I wasn't that big a fan of that 70 show.
Oh, I love that 70s show.
Yeah. Well,
So good. I watched it
okay.
on repeat up
Um,
until like season 6, maybe 5.
yeah.
It gets a little bit
Yeah, there you go.
and yeah. Good shit though.
Okay.
Just not him.
Okay.
Piece of shit.
Well, Godzilla -1 trailer unveils the next monster epic. It looks pretty cool. There's a
A
new
new Godzilla.
Godzilla. Yeah, there
Wow.
is.
I can't believe Godzilla's one of those IPs that will just never die. Every like 5 to 10 years, someone will release another movie.
It's Apple's Monsterverse. Does it mean Apple TV have picked it up?
Oh, really?
Apple TV are making their own Monsterverse.
I'd be keen. I'd be keen for the rest of the kaiju universe. Like, where's the Mothra film and Hydra and Mecha Hydra and Mecha Godzilla and all the other ones? There was so many. I used to have there was a Godzilla
Godzilla versus
destroy all
Kong.
monsters. Yeah, but Kong's been done to death as well. There's so many cool kaijus. Like,
I like Kong. I actually got on a little rabbit hole of mountain gorillas versus eastern gorillas or western gorillas.
of course you like Kong. Same reason you like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I like gorillas. Gorillas my favorite animal.
Did you know, just talking about Donkey Kong and Kong, when Donkey Kong came out, people who owned King Kong tried to sue,
Oh,
and this is when Nintendo were like a smaller company they are now,
hmm.
and they nearly had to shut the doors, and a lawyer saved them and fought the case, and the lawyer's name was Kirby, and then when they created Kirby, they literally named him after the lawyer that saved the company.
Wow. There you go.
There you go.
I didn't know
Another
that.
little tidbit. Yeah, it's a cute little story, huh?
Hmm. Kind of like another new story that's coming out is the Hunger Games, The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes kicks off its arena sequel with a scene known as the Bloodbath. So that comes out pretty
Okay.
soon.
Oh, does it?
Pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
keen.
hmm,
I
I
like
like
Hunger Games. Hunger
I
Games a
like the
lot.
other ones.
Yeah, I watch
Hmm.
them on repeat.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't assume that would be your type of movie.
Yeah, it's just simple. Like sit back and enjoy. I
Okay.
really like the second one. Second one's my favorite
Okay. Okay.
for sure.
Well, if you like that, do you like Five Nights at Freddy? Because there's a new trailer out now.
Oh, is there? I'm excited to
Mm.
watch it. I'm curious to see, not to segue into our first show yet, but I'm curious to see an IP that I've never had any interest in, if it can spark some interest, like it has for One Piece.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, the
And
Hunger Games is November. It's not too far.
yeah,
A couple months coming before we know it.
and then you've also got the Saw 10
Hmm.
features Jigsaw more than any other Saw. Surely they can't do anything more with this IP.
Yeah, look, I haven't watched any Saws past two. I think I've seen two, probably even I've just seen one. I honestly don't remember.
I didn't get past
Um,
3.
yeah, I've watched like YMS on YouTube. He has watched them all and is a big like horror fan and whatever. And watching him like just tear into what the Saw movies have become, like they've tried doing all this like back in time stuff and all this, not like time travel, but like time skips and
Yeah.
trying to like make this big universe and whatever, but it's not. It's really not.
Mm.
So yeah, look, I don't care. I honestly don't want to watch it because I'm not going to understand a lot what's going on, but you probably will.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's about
Mm-hmm.
all the big movie news, which means
Yeah,
we can set sail and get into our first.
that's not bad.
Uh, uh, mm.
because it's a subtle one. I like that. When you
Nah.
just shove words into a sentence, like torrents the other night when we were
Uh,
playing.
Fair
Ryman
mu-
can't say turret.
Torrent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Uh,
puts an N in it.
there's
Just
a
it's
lot.
okay.
There's a
Don't
lot of
defend it.
there's a lot of things I can I do.
Mhm.
I just do things. Lots of things. Who knows? But
Lots of things.
if you wanted to see a brand new intro trailer that I'm still giggling about, you, you can go and see that one too. Oh, made me laugh. But
Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny.
that was so
Like,
funny.
I had a really good time. I'm excited to see it again.
Oh, it's so good. But let's get into One Piece. This is Netflix's newest. Well, I wouldn't call it their IP. It is their newest live action adaptation
Yeah.
of the anime manga, which is
Hmm.
I think it's the longest, isn't it? The longest running. Can't remember if it's the longest running. I know it's massive. Like it's insane.
Yeah, there's things that have been longer running where they're more like kids shows and
Yeah,
less epic adventures. They're more like little throw together sort of shows.
yeah, but whatever it is, it's
Hmm.
very very popular. So I'm a big fan of the anime. I'm up to episode 950 odd, 970 odd. I can't remember exactly, but I'm into the most recent anime arc, which is
Yeah.
yeah. But I
And
haven't read.
I
Mm, mm.
sorry, keep going.
I haven't read the manga, so I
Sure.
pulling my knowledge from the anime, and there are some parts where I was like, "Did this happen in the anime or not?" Where I did compare a few bits and pieces. Where your
Mhm.
knowledge is,
Yeah, I've literally seen zero. I I know that the main character's well, now I know more, but I know the main character's name is Luffy.
mhm, mhm.
That's literally the knowledge I had of One Piece. I knew that he could stretch.
Yep,
I knew that much, and I knew there was a guy that fought with a sword in his mouth, and that was
yep,
pretty much my entire knowledge of the show before 3 days ago,
yep.
4 days ago.
So our standard rule is always we watch three and then we give a recommendation off of the three. I've
Yep,
watched four. I don't know. Did you watch the fourth one?
I didn't get time. No.
No, that's fine. So we'll run for the three. So
Mhm.
this is in a seafaring world, a young pirate captain sets out with his crew to attain the title of the Pirate King and to discover the mystical treasure known as the One Piece. Ba-ba-bum. What is
You
the
bet.
One Piece? Everyone still doesn't know, and there are
Isn't
some
it still not known in the anime either?
nope, or the manga. It's
Yeah,
still not known. It's
it's insane.
still the mystery. So
Which I mean, it's kind of good because like if they ever did find it, it would be the end, right? Like what
mhm.
you shouldn't try and extend it past that.
Yeah, so there's heaps of obviously lore behind One Piece. One Piece is absolutely massive. There's lots going on. So I'm going to give a general overview first, and then we'll go
Hmm.
into the episode. So this set is all set around Luffy. Luffy wants to be the Pirate King, and he is Monkey D. Luffy. So those that know some of the lore of One Piece will know that the names have meanings, and there's further knowledge with that. He sets out to be a pirate. Everything is kicked off by Gold Roger, who is the most famous pirate. He kicked off the pirate era.
He was the Pirate King.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a pirate king. On his execution, it is revealed that he has hidden the One Piece, and that's what sparks the new era of pirates. So
Mhm.
it's essentially Luffy's adventure of establishing a crew and going to become him trying to become the Pirate King. That is the simplest way to explain where the story goes. Then you
Yep.
get all the nitty gritties where you have a whole assembly of very, very unique characters. Every character is quite unique. You then
Okay.
get the different powers, which are all developed from the devil fruits. So, devil fruits
Hmm.
are what people eat, and they actually gain different powers based on which fruit they eat. So,
But it's like it's kind of a curse as well. Is that right?
yeah, so I'm glad that there is, because you need a drawback. Like, imagine if these people just were like off they go, they just got all these
Yeah,
powers. So,
yeah.
ironically, once someone eats a devil fruit, they can't swim anymore. So they become pirates. They go on the sea, but if they touch seawater or they're in seawater, they lose all their powers and
Ah,
strength. Kind of like kryptonite, I guess, for like Superman.
sure.
Mm.
Didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
Oh, was it? I'm pretty sure they
They
said
sort
it.
of they sort of mentioned he can't swim, but I didn't connect unless they mentioned it and I just sort of missed it. I didn't really connect that it made him not swim.
Oh, Buggy did mention it.
Oh, really? My bad
Yeah,
then.
that's all. Yeah. So first episode is we get the introduction of Gold Roger and the overview of the actual pirate world, and you
Mhm.
get all these flashes into the crowd where all these people, if you actually had knowledge, are like pretty big players in the actual One Piece world. And when I first started watching the anime, I was like, this art style is so whack. And
Okay.
when they first going into the clips of all the different people, so there's like Shanks with his red hair and he's the straw hat, he's in the crowd.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Yep.
have Mihawk, he's the one with the real pointy like sideburns. I was like, oh, that looks real weird. He'll play a big role later on. Well, not a big role,
Sure.
but he plays a part.
A bigger role. Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of cool. And like all these different ones, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I was concerned that some of the art style of the One Piece, like, well, art style wouldn't translate overly well to live action.
Live action. Mm-hmm.
Like it took me a little while to get my head around it, but I actually really started to enjoy it. So the first scene, even with Gold Roger and with Luffy on the boat out nowhere, is almost like
Yep.
shot for shot for the anime,
Yeah, cool.
like scene for scene. Like it's really cool. So we get the
Mm-hmm.
execution of Roger, and then we're presented with Luffy just floating around on his little ship, which is cool. And then we
Yeah.
yeah.
I yeah, I was gonna say, I was pretty I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, honestly, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay.
My bad.
Uh,
Fuck.
what I do like about Luffy is like he's really carefree attitude. Like he's really carefree until like his crew is in
Yeah.
in danger, and he's
Yeah.
very. I resonate with Luffy a bit because he's just carefree. He's just chaotic, and he's just does what he wants, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
I
Very chaotic good.
Yeah, I struggled with the casting for probably the first half of the episode
That's fair.
because, like, I don't know, there was something about it that just felt a little bit off to begin with, and I was like, oh, I don't know if you've captured Luffy, but
Yeah.
as he goes on, like, I don't know if it's the voice or if it's like he's just. I don't know. There was just something off about it. He did grow on me though, as I spent more and more time.
I agree. Yeah,
But
look, I didn't have any preconceptions of how Luffy acts, and I still felt a little bit like I think it's the same problem we always come to when we talk about live action anime, is it's like people try and act like the anime character. And anime characters are anime for a reason. They're not human like, they're not, they're hard to sort of portray in a realistic way as humans because we don't act like that. It's weird to see someone act like that sometimes. So I think there's
yeah,
a little bit of that happening with Luffy, but you're so right when you say over time you really start to love him. By the end of episode, or even by episode one, but by then episode two especially, I'm like, yeah, he's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. But I didn't have that problem with Nami or Zoro. So with them,
Fair.
I was actually like, yep, they're really cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
Nami's great. I
I
like
thought,
her a lot. Every scene with her, I think she's again, I have no idea about these characters, but I really like how she can play up this like innocent girl because she is young and quite innocent looking, but then she's a thief and manipulative and all that sort of stuff. Like I really like her layers. I'm also curious to know more about Zoro because at the moment he is just Sword Man. So, but I know obviously there's 1,000 episodes about him, or
Mhm.
including him.
Yeah.
Then there must be so much more to his character. So,
Zoro, well, everyone gets really cool moments like as the story progresses. Like there's so much in there where we actually get Zoro's backstory like really early. We don't get this like at all really in the anime. Like
all right,
we get bits and pieces, but they've actually like delved into his backstory really early. Nami has a really cool arc coming up. I don't want to say anything
okay,
because it'll
yeah, of course,
spoil it, but um, it's really cool. There is so the first one where you actually get introduced to Luffy on the little ship, and then he jumps in a barrel and he goes to another pirate. So this is where we first establish what the current pirates are like, and this
hmm
is a really good contrast to show what Luffy's pirate mentality is
yeah,
like compared to the other pirates. So we're actually
yeah.
presented to, I forget exactly what her name is, that pirate, but
Oh, the one
she's,
in at the beginning,
yeah, like she's only ever in that scene. It was only mainly to
sure.
Get Luffy to somewhere, but we're also presented to uh Kobe as well, which is the
Yep.
pink haired boy who's being forced to work on the ship, and they have a really cool dynamic. So it has the dynamic changes in the live action. So I was reading that they made this design choice by because they wanted a little bit of difference. So Luffy wants to be the pirate king, where Kobe wants to be a marine. So
Mm,
the two differences, and they actually have a bit of like a conflict with Kobe because Kobe wants to like be a marine, but also sees that Luffy's not the same as all the other pirates, where all the other
okay.
majority of the pirates are like, you know, mean and want to just be greedy and go out for themselves.
Yeah.
Where
I heard that. Oh, her name was Alvida, by the way.
Alvida, that's the one, yeah. So
Yeah.
Alvida is pretty much rules by an iron fist, has a pretty cool looking weapon that just comes down and smashes everyone. The We have that big fight on the ship and whatnot. The fight scenes, I was like concerned how they would sort of do them because
hmm
obviously with Luffy being his really stretchy self, I was interested to see how CGI and stuff would translate to it.
Yeah.
And it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
I think it's good enough.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how they deal with some of the transformations later on with like second
Right.
gear and a number of other ones. Like I'm wondering how they'll show that because there's
Even the shark man, is it Arlong?
Arlong. Yep.
Yeah, even he looks a little questionable in this couple scenes we've seen him in.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm going into this with a similar mentality of like Doctor Who, I suppose.
Yeah,
Like
that's a good way to do it.
part of the attraction is that it's a little goofy, and that's
Yep.
fine.
Yep. That's pretty much the anime too. Like it's goofy and then it has really good moments and it has like
Mhm.
character developments. Where Arlong in the anime is like massive, like he's like 7 foot, like he's huge.
Okay. Yeah.
Where visually the face, I don't mind it. I don't mind Arlong. I just don't think the build is correct for Arlong. Like I want
Okay.
him to be
Not big enough.
a bigger presence.
All
But
right.
Buggy. Buggy was cool.
Oh,
So
he's cool.
I like the change that they did with Buggy. So Buggy in the anime, which he gets a big showing in episode 2, he gets a he's kind of a coward. He's mainly a coward, but he's
All right.
also like because of his chop fruit, where he's able to like
Flip
dismember
himself.
himself.
Yeah.
He's really cool. So the another change with that was that fight scene with Buggy. They actually takes place all over the island rather than just in the little tent.
Oh, in
Yeah.
the big
So
top.
yeah,
Yep.
so they're actually like trapping all the bits and pieces all over the island rather than just
Oh,
a
right. Rather
little
than just in a room with chess.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
Makes
mean,
sense.
to show that would have taken quite some time, but I think
Yes, and don't think it's necessary for the plot.
no. So I think all the changes that they've done are actually reasonably clever to like keep the story moving. Like it goes at quite a good pace. Like episode one,
Yeah.
when we get introduced to Zoro, I think Zoro turns up at like pretty much a really good time to show some like different interactions and stuff. Like I really like the interaction with Zoro and Luffy. So once they're in the Marine Fort and they're
Oh
what's his
yeah, they're
name?
fighting the guy with the medal on his face.
Yeah, that the axe hand guy. Like he's
Yep.
like there was a change with that one as well. So when Zoro is chained up, he actually gets offered the food by the girl, not in a bar, but actually while he's tied up. Like she shows him kindness, and that's like one of the big driving forces for Zoro to start like raging out and helping Luffy and
Yeah,
Nami.
and that probably is one thing that I've noticed coming straight into it without the backstory is sort of how quickly Zoro, for someone who hunts pirates and all that sort of stuff, how quickly Zoro and Nami, who has always been a bit of a lone wolf, they've just jumped on board and joined in with Luffy.
Yeah.
And like I don't think it seems unreasonable, but it does seem a little bit like, it's kind of like in D&D when you got a party together and you sort of got to make it work because it works for the plot. Like it felt a little bit like that, but I don't think it took away from anything at all though. I'm not mad at it.
No, so they
Necessary.
what they say it was the first 100 chapters are the first season. So the first 100
Right.
chapters of the manga are the first is season one.
That
So
was my next
which
question actually. How many episodes? How much anime have I watched already in 3 episodes of TV?
well that's 100 manga chapters. So that's
Manga,
not
okay.
that's not episodes. I can't
How far into One Piece is the death of not the death, but the defeat of Buggy?
I'd have to look that up. I can't tell
No,
you.
don't worry about
So I've been watching One Piece on and off since like 2012, 2011. So I watch like
it.
one
Sure.
arc and then move on. So all of this is kind of a little bit fresh, but I really liked the Arlong Park arc. I thought that was really cool
Mhm.
in the anime. So I'm keen as to see how that goes and see like Nami's interaction with that because
Yep.
that's gonna be cool. Hopefully they do it justice. They I like I like the dynamic between them, and I've always liked the dynamic between each of the characters, even in the anime. Like Zoro, I feel like he's pretty much true to the anime character. Also, an
Hmm.
interesting fact about Zoro, he is actually a swordsman in real life. So,
Oh, the actor.
yeah, so
Oh, that's cool.
he's like a really famous swordsman and like really established in whatever that field is, swordsmanship. Like
Sure.
that's why they picked
Good.
him. And
Good.
also Sanji, who you haven't met yet,
No.
who I don't know if you want to know what his role is, but I kind of have to.
Uh, yeah, go for it. I don't care.
I got to tell you to be able to tell a story. So when people were really mad about him being cast because Sanji in the anime's got like curly eyebrows, so and they
Okay.
they didn't show it, but for him to once he won the role, he took professional cooking classes because Sanji is the ship's
As a
like chef.
chef.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that much. Yep.
yeah. So he took professional cooking classes and then would cook for all the crew, like when they weren't filming. And then because Sanji doesn't want to like hurt his hands, he always fights by kicks. So he actually
All
became
right.
took professional kickboxing classes and became
Hell yeah.
a black belt in Taekwondo.
Fuck
Like,
yeah. That's sick.
like that's really cool that they went
Yeah,
to
I love that.
that amount of effort to
They
be able
need
to get
to.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, this could have been. I remember saying this prior to it being released. This could have been like ripped to shreds so quick. You're creating something like that people already love, and you're creating a live action of it. It's quite risky, It's good to know people took it seriously, not just like directors and writers and stuff, but also the actors. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So Buggy's really cool. He's less cowardly in this than he actually is in the anime.
Right. Yeah, you
Also,
feel like that at all?
yeah, originally they steal the map from Buggy rather than stealing it from the Marine Fort in the anime.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a I didn't mind that scene that they stole it from the Marine Fort instead.
Yeah,
But
that didn't feel weird on my perspective,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. So like there's really cool things about it. It flows pretty
Yep,
well. They have
definitely.
swapped and changed some things around. So like
Hmm.
there's a at the end of episode 4, they do a reveal which you don't actually get to like episode 100 in
Okay.
the actual anime.
In the yep, yep,
But the reason they did it was to give a bit of urgency and a bit of like threat to the characters. Where in the anime,
yep.
obviously, you've got so much time, they're spreading it out so that you have like more of an adventure rather than
Yes,
you got 8
yes.
episodes. So
It's always been
which
paced differently, and that's I'm glad.
yeah,
Trying to do episode by episode would have been a fucking mess.
yeah. One thing I didn't like is I like Shanks. I think the character did really well with Shanks, and you get the backstory of how Luffy and Shanks have their interactions and how he gets the straw hat.
Hmm.
But when well, in the flashback, you have Shanks rescuing Luffy from the sea, like what is it, sea beast or whatever that pops out, and like in the anime, it's a really really cool scene of how Shanks loses his arm, where I feel like
Okay.
it didn't do it enough justice. Like it's a really powerful
Yeah, it's over
moment
really
to
quick.
yeah,
Yep.
and that really establishes like the connection between Shanks and Luffy about how like Shanks always looked out for him and like
Yep.
sheltered him. Where I don't know, it was really quick, and I don't know, I feel like that was slightly disappointing.
Yeah, sure. A little unearned. Yeah, it felt like that too. Even having, honestly, before you mentioned it just then, I'd forgot that scene altogether. And
Yeah,
if it was a really interesting scene in the original, then that does definitely take away a little bit.
yeah. So I don't know, just that's that's what I was slightly disappointed. But overall, I had a
Yeah.
really really good time with it. Like it was the quickest flight home that I've ever had. Like I put it on, and I was just absorbed by it. It was so good.
Yeah, I really like which I found out afterwards is just sort of like the character diversity. I didn't really think about it prior, but I really like how this um Luffy's meant to be Brazilian, I found out. So Luffy's Brazilian, Zoro is the only Japanese character. Uh what's her name? Girl?
Nami.
Nami's meant to be like Swedish or something, or like, European of some description.
Hmm.
I know that Sanji is French. So yeah, I like that diversity. I think that makes it feel not just because cultural appropriation, that sort of stuff, but I also think it makes the world of pirates much more realistic. Like it's not just one place in the world. And the way that this world looks is very different. It's not set on Earth. They've got
Yeah,
like more or less one piece of land in the middle. Um, but yeah, I really like that. I think that was really fun, and it meant that every character feels not just unique because of their interesting quirks and powers, but also unique in their like cultural background and whatever. I'm not sure
wait,
that.
wait until you see all the other crew members. It's going to be really
Yeah,
diverse.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, I watched a little video of people talking about the different crew members and their like what they're meant to be, their nationalities and that. So I know a
Mhm.
little bit of what's coming up, but I also have no idea how far they're gonna get if they're going to introduce even like Brooke and stuff, the skeleton man I heard
Oh,
about.
okay, you do know that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen. I've been exposed to One Piece enough, I suppose, to know a little bit like names, I suppose, of different characters. But
yeah,
yeah, I like that a lot. I also, yeah, I really like just how they're taking it seriously in the fact that this needs to be respected, but they're also having so much fun with it. Like every scene, I'm excited to watch more. It just feels really fun to watch. like you can always tell that the actors are having fun as well. Um, Everything just comes across like really lighthearted, and they're aware of everything being not super serious, but they're also treating it with the utmost respect. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm having a really fun time. As I mentioned earlier, I'm 100% gonna watch One Piece now because of this, and that's exactly why this
Ooh.
exists. This came out to, like, people are mad about it, and I did read. If I'm not sure about it now because I think it's done pretty well, but when it was first sort of being talked about, its existence at all, a lot of diehard One Piece fans were not happy because every live action anime dies and it's terrible and it's always a big mistake. Um, but it wasn't made. This wasn't made for people who were huge One Piece fans. This was made for people who have no exposure to One Piece, and it's trying to bring people back into One Piece. It's Netflix realizing they now own distribution rights in the West for a very, very successful anime, and they are pumping the absolute shit out of it.
Oh yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it's good. Because Oda, the creator, was so against a live recreation of it for so
Oh,
long
really?
until he watched Shallon Soccer. Is that
Shaolin Soccer. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Even
So
Chow.
that was like his favorite film, and he was like,
Mhm.
maybe they're able to do it justice now. So that's when he agreed to be able to do it because he
Weird that you
had
mentioned Shaolin Soccer because the executive producer of Monkey King was Stephen Chow, who
yeah,
made Shaolin Soccer.
yeah. So that was the reason why Oda agreed to a live recreation.
Cool.
After he watched that, he was like, technology and everything is up to the point where you'd be able to do it justice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have. Yeah. It's fun. I think that's like the best word to describe it. I've talked to a few students and other like diehard One Piece fans and stuff since I watched this during the week. And everyone is just saying it's fun. Like
Yep.
that's the best way to describe it. And it is. It is very, very fun.
Mm.
Genuinely.
Yeah. So I'm having a great time with it. And
Mhm.
I'm keen to see the some bigger moments and get your reaction of it. Because I don't want to say
Yeah,
anything
sure.
about it because it'll be good. It'll be good.
We can definitely revisit it. I reckon I'll probably binge it relatively soon. We can revisit it in weeks to come and sort of give a bit of a recap at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, I'll finish it over the weekend. Like it'll be done pretty quick.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
fair.
for me at the moment, if it's a very high recommendation, it is a 4.5. It was just that Shank scene that I was disappointed with. Like I was looking forward to that scene, and I
Fair
was
enough.
slightly disappointed with that. But other than that, very, very fun.
Yeah, yeah. I think, like I said, it's hard for me to sort of come into this and be like, where do I stand on it without having any knowledge of the pre-existing material. But it's meant that I can come into this without thinking about what's going to change, and like I've got no because of that, I have no preconceptions of whether I like it or not. So yeah, I've actually had a really good time. It's a to me, it's a four. I'm definitely keen to watch more. And like I said, if it makes me want to go watch One Piece, then it's obviously done its job because that's literally why this exists. It's to make people want to watch One Piece.
Yeah, and because One Piece is so massive, it's like it's pretty intimidating. You always say it's intimidating to watch
Yes.
because
That's why I'm going to
there's
watch One Piece. For those who aren't aware and those who are on the same page as me and now want to watch One Piece, quick spruik, there is a website called One Piece. Bunch of One Piece nerds sat down together with the manga and they went through all the filler and they have created a shore like a almost like a Dragon Ball Z Kai, how they did that.
Mhm.
And then it's all the good stuff put together in the right order. They've cut out a lot of the transformation, longevity and making that stuff take forever, whatever. Supposedly it's about 45% shorter. So it's
Yeah.
a big chunk.
Apparently, it's only in the like the first few seasons or arcs, however you want to define it, isn't you don't save too much time. It's not until the later arcs that you actually save like stacks of time. Like there's a
right.
De Rossi arc where I think it saves like over 1,000 minutes or something. Like it's
right.
it's
That's
pretty
fucked, hey.
it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So I used to just watch it. I used to put it on while I was doing cardio and stuff. Like it's it's just easy to watch. Takes away from spinning the legs over on a bike or whatever. It's good fun.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of show that I'll be having on while I'm like cooking or doing housework or whatever.
Yeah,
So often to put on shows for that sort of stuff. Usually shows I've seen before, but I feel like One Piece is the kind of thing that you can sort of watch without watching.
Yeah, it depends on the moment, but
yeah,
but it's cool.
it's good. Go watch it.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Like
yeah, definitely.
I've been saying it's good for a while, and you're like, no, it's too intimidating. You don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I've always known it's good, and until One Piece existed, if One Piece wasn't around and I hadn't had, I've seen a lot of people recommend it, even die hard One Piece fans. So because that exists, I'm like, yeah, it's much more approachable. It's less intimidating.
Yeah. Well, soon I'll be able to get you into Bleach too. And then a Bonkai. Soon.
It's your dream. Just watch all the anime you like.
Yep. Yep.
Fair.
Yeah. We'll see. But we'll move on to the next film, which is The Monkey King, which is on Netflix as well.
Yep.
And this is inspired by the epic Chinese tale, translated into action-packed comedy. It
was action-packed, that's for sure. They really packed the fucking action into it. I'll tell you that much.
A monkey and his magical fighting stick battle demons, dragons, gods, and the greatest adversity of all, a monkey's ego. Bum, bum, bum. So,
yep.
I really like the Chinese tale of like the journey to the West. Like it's a very cool story. It has been done,
isn't it?
A number, like lots and lots of times.
Yeah.
Where this is disappointing. This is
extremely. That is the best word to describe this. Sorry, just jump right in. Yeah, I was actually a little bit excited for this because animations are going in a really good direction recently. Netflix have been putting some good money into good things, but this turns out to be it's called Pearl Productions. It's a Chinese DreamWorks subsidiary made this. It's so nothing. It's a kids movie. I thought it was going to be more like One Wish, whatever it's called, Last Wish. I really thought it was going to be more enjoyable than this.
Yeah, it wasn't. So
bad.
Obviously I'm a big fan of the story and the art style to begin with. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This looks interesting. I liked the retelling of the story at the beginning, like obviously how they tell the story of how the monkey is born from the rock and it appears. I didn't mind Act 1, where he establishes how he gets his stick and how he is rebelling against all the gods, like in the traditional story. But from the end of Act 1, where he actually gets the stick, I didn't mind the interactions to begin with him and the stick. The stick, for some reason, has like a neon glow and is like able to communicate. Like, I was like, okay, it's an interesting choice to go with. And then from there, once he's like gets his powers, it's all about him just needs to battle 100 demons, and it's just this
for 5 minutes.
This mashed up.
It's the whole. This is the best way to describe. I don't think we can say acts, by the way. We can't say Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 because this did not follow an act structure, or at least it sort of did when it got to the end of Act 2 into the climax, because that's more obvious. But there is a training montage in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, there is.
Then, so I've written, right?
Mm.
He starts by trying to find a new family.
Mhm.
He doesn't. Then he
Mhm.
tries to get strong to save a child, training montage. Then he does that, but I don't know how much time has passed because he's grown up, but the other kids that have been kidnapped haven't. I don't understand. Then he needs to find the new weapon. He goes and does that. Then he to become the Monkey King, he has to fight 100 demons. And we get a montage of him for 5 minutes fighting 100 demons. And then we get another climax. This movie, for fucking 30 minutes of the beginning, had a climax every 5 minutes. I literally wrote it down. 5 minutes, new climax. Wants to do 40 things. Like it was just like bam, 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 bam. Here's all this action, 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 action. Like, who is going to get anything out of this besides like 7-year-old children who are like, yeah, I like the Monkey King.
Well,
Yes.
that's what I assumed it was made for though.
I didn't going into this, I did not know that was what it was going to be. And you can make like Last Wish and Spider-Man and all these really good animations are proving you can make good animated movies that are still approachable for children. You don't need to make shit like this.
Even like Kung Fu Panda, like
Yeah,
yeah,
better, way better than this.
yeah. I like
Better
Kung Fu
voice
Panda.
acting. Voice acting in this was a fucking joke as well. It's yeah. I couldn't believe how fast paced the first half was, especially when the latter of the film, nothing fucking happened. Is what you're getting to.
Yep. Yep. So I don't know, I still found that there was an act structure, even though you're right about the montages. But I don't mind a montage. I went into this
You
going,
like a montage.
I like a montage. Even in the Grinch film where there was it was the mean one, it was a montage. I don't mind a montage. So
At 20 minutes,
I
there was another climax. At 30 minutes, there was a chase scene climax. At 36 minutes, there was a fight scene climax.
yeah. So once he gets his weapon, that's where I deemed the end of Act One. And then from that point on, it was just a mess. Like there was no point after that. I was like, oh, that was cool. I laughed once where he met the fire demon and he had to like save the town's child, and he just
Yeah.
belts the one you didn't think was going to be a demon. I
It
was
turns
like,
out to be the massive guy that was the kid.
yeah, like I laughed at that
Yeah.
bit, but that was it. After that, that was it. The Dragon Emperor sucked. Like
Oh no.
it was. It's just
And not to
he's
skip right to the end, but like not to this is by no means a spoiler, trust. He had some random fucking musical number. It's like this movie decided that all of a sudden, oh wait, we need to rival Hercules or Aladdin or whatever. And we need to make sure that we have a villain song in a movie that has no other songs besides some like the Monkey King himself writes these goofy little songs that people sing to him. They're kind of funny, but
yeah.
out of nowhere, the Dragon King has a song, and it means it's bad. It's really fucking bad, and out of nowhere, and it's annoying.
And
Very annoying.
he has a skin condition because he's out of water. Like what is
Oh
happening?
yeah,
Like
the inconsistent skin condition. Sometimes he'd be out of the water for like 5 minutes,
ages.
and sometimes it was one bit he was in the air, like he and his bathtub were in the air. He'd come out of the bathtub and he started drying out, and then he landed back in the bathtub.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I know this is for babies, but fuck me,
This it was a
this annoyed
mess.
me.
It was an absolute mess. Like
It's made for babies, but there's also sorry, I'm not on a huge tangent again. It's made for babies, but it's also there's this fucking like disconnect with the music. The music in all the fight scenes is like metal, like almost like Rammstein German metal, and it meant like it was so out of place because if this is aimed at babies, why do you think metal is the right choice? Like they're not whatever.
it, it was it was something. Like I don't. understand about the direction they went. So like
Uh,
you even said the producer was Steve Chow.
executive producer
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
goes to prove he does nothing.
But wouldn't you look at that and be like, what are you guys doing? Or is it just
Especially
like
because
he wants a little payday and it's like away you go? Or like,
yeah,
where does
look,
this
I
happen?
think it was more of a lot of people bring on executive producers like Stephen Chow because they have a ticket value. People can say executive produced by Stephen Chow, and people instantly think it's going to be better than it is because you're attaching a big name to it. Executive producers these days is just a name on a billing sheet. It's very frustrating because I wouldn't say I've seen like heaps of what's his actual the name the Sun Wukong.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't seen heaps of adaptations of Sun Wukong. A lot of them are in Chinese film, but I have seen Chinese Odyssey, which is the 1995 Stephen Chow films. There's two of them, and he's so fun in it. Like that's what I was somewhat expecting from this, like a bit more mature, because he's unlikable and he's meant to be, but like don't just make him unlikable and like a brat because that gets very tired very quick. I felt like I was watching like a child argue with another child and everything just felt dumb and annoying. I'm like, just fucking leave me alone. Whereas I don't know, I felt like he didn't. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over talking about it.
Yeah, so the director, Anthony Stacci, however you say it.
Versace, yeah.
This is his second directing role. So he's
Yep.
done co-directing for Boog and Elliot's Midnight Bun Run and
Whatever the fuck that is.
open season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of the writing staff as well are things like Brother Bear, Open Season, Over the Hedge, like those very we wish we were Disney kind of movies.
yeah. I didn't mind Brother Bear
Uh
though. That was all right.
it's the better of the ones I listed for sure.
And then you've got
Um
Box Trolls. He was his first directing one, which I haven't seen. Came out in
no
2014.
idea.
I remember
Never
it
heard of it.
coming out, but it like died pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
then this was his second introduction, I guess, which is disappointing.
Oh, it's bad.
It's disappointing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's genuinely bad. It's frustratingly so. Like I'd have a break. I sat down with it. It was after work one night. I just wanted to zone out and watch something fun. And I thought, yeah, Monkey King would be great because it's not hard, it's not serious, it's not made for extreme audiences or whatever. It's fucking. I knew it was gonna be more or less a children's movie, but this is beyond anything I was expecting. I couldn't watch the whole thing in a sitting. I
What would you
was
give it
being
then?
bombarded with information. I'm just looking at my notes, more things I want to fucking say. There was an acid trip moment. Like there was a moment where they were tripping balls on something. Like this movie, there was just so much disconnect between this is aimed at children, but then all of a sudden there's like metal music and some adult themes being talked about with like drugs and alcohol and like addiction. They sort of mention that like a bit of a joke sometimes, or not sometimes, but once or twice. Um, yeah, I don't know who the fuck was aimed at. And they said beseech way too many times. There was a passage where they're like, I beseech you. Oh, we beseech. Oh, I beseech you. They said it too many times. Stop trying to be smart. It sounds like I'm reading a year 11 assignment and they think they're fucking trying to be smart as and they're just changing words. Um, what I give it? I would give it a one.
One.
Um, probably even less because it's I would pay to not watch this again. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
Like
All
this
right.
was a really unenjoyable time. I think the only reason it gets a one and not even like less is don't know, look kind of nice, I suppose. Some of the
Mm.
animation was kind of okay. But that being said, my partner came in and I was watching it, and she's like, "How old is this?" I'm like, "This year." Looks like shit. Yeah, it did look like shit. A lot of it did.
Yeah.
I love especially like the particle effects and stuff. Like that looks so bad. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's a half a star. You know what? 7.75. In between a half and a one.
Wow. All right.
Closer to a half than a one. It's not good. I don't like it at all.
Okay.
You.
I gave it a 1.5. You get an extra
Well,
0.5 because of the montages. I like a montage.
because of the it gets an extra 0.1 for every montage, so that's why it got an extra 10 marks.
Yep.
It's fucking so many montages.
I didn't mind a montage.
I would have preferred
mm,
this as a show. Like there are so many layers to the Sun Wukong story. Not that I would have watched the show, but they tried to jam way too much into a little movie.
okay.
Like this could have been way better as a show,
Yeah.
but
Well,
better paced at least.
okay.
Imagine a show where like every episode he fights a new demon, or like he has to go hunt one, and like Samurai Jack, where he would have to just go out and find something and kill it. Like
I
it could be
loved
fucking
Samurai
awesome.
Jack. That was such a good
Samurai Jack's
show.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
But
see this and you're like, why is this so dumb?
oh well.
Anyway.
It's disappointing. Netflix is very hit and miss though. They just
Oh yeah.
throw things at the wall and hope.
Yeah. It's like Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Just throw enough money at something and every now and then you get some gold.
But let's move on to DC's newest hero, Blue Beetle, which I know nothing about Blue Beetle. I
Nope.
I didn't even know it was a hero, to be honest. I was like, oh, this is new. And it
Yep.
has the guy, I have no idea how to say his name, but he is in Karate Kid, Cobra Kai. He's Miguel in Cobra Kai.
All right. The main guy.
Yep. Yep. Well, the main student of Johnny.
Zolo Mariduena.
Yep.
Mariduena?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Mexican. I'm bad at names.
Yeah.
Foreign names. I apologize. Zolo.
That's better than I would do. But this is about an alien scabbard that chooses Jamie Raines to be its symbolic host, bestowing the recent college graduate with a suit of armor that's capable of extraordinary powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero known as the Blue Beetle.
Yep.
So,
And I think it's Jaime, like Javier and Jesus.
what?
A J is a H.
Oh, that's just
It's like in a lot of European languages, a J is a Y. So
yeah, right.
Jacob is Jakob.
What would J be then? Jose,
What do you mean?
as in my
J
name.
would be hey.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
That's confusing. Anyway,
Yeah, that's language, isn't it?
I hate it. But Blue Beetle, DC have pretty much tried to take Marvel's formula because DC has struggled massively with their newest superhero films like Justice League, Suicide Squad, etc. And they've taken Marvel's formula of the bright colors, the comedy, and they've gone, let's try to revamp it. So I came into this hoping it was going to be good because of the trailer, and I really like Miguel in Cobra Kai. But when this started, it turned into the most generic thing that I have seen in
Thank God.
quite
Thank
some time.
God. Thank God. You have some
Why?
sense.
Did you think I was going to like it?
Yes, because you like this shit. You like Shazam way more than I did. This reminds me of Shazam 2.
I did, yeah, I liked Shazam 2 more than you did. But I really liked Shazam. Like the first Shazam was fun. But
you gave Shazam 2 a 2.5.
yeah,
I gave it a 0.75.
I didn't give it a 3, did I? Didn't recommend
No.
it. No.
I love having this spreadsheet here, by the way. I can look up stuff so easy of what we gave movies.
Yeah, so Blue Beetle turns out to be pretty much every other superhero film where it's just a average run of the mill. This runs on very big stereotypes too. So the family is your very stereotypical presented on screen. That'd be Mexican family, wouldn't they? Or Hispanic family
Yeah.
that have
I had to look it up. supposedly this character is the third Blue Beetle.
Okay.
He was introduced in 2006 in the comics. But Blue
Okay.
Beetle's been around since the 40s or the 30s, I think, a
There you go.
while.
There you go. I didn't know that.
Um, but yeah, like that's one thing I'll say as well. It's one thing I shit on the new Transformers for was just throwing in random Hispanic characters for the sake of it and being like, here's an Hispanic character, you happy? Whereas this actually it made sense for the character and for the the family and whatever him to be Hispanic. I felt like it played into the story a lot that he wasn't just another white guy. That was
Okay.
like one of the only good things I can give it.
Yeah, right. I didn't get that. I felt like it was real generic. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it
Well,
was.
yeah, okay, okay. I don't know. I
So
just
I'm
felt
not saying it wasn't.
so. I keep trying to go to call him Miguel. Miguel went to college, is come back, and is what was he doing? I can't remember on the top of my head. He graduated from college, and then he came back home, and then he started his job, and then for and then due to circumstances has an interaction that he gets embedded with the symbiote, and that's where the story kicks off. Like every other,
Why is it a symbiote?
because it's an alien scarab, which is, I saw it as symbiote, kind of like Venom, where it like embeds itself into the person,
Yeah, I guess.
where the alien comes in and embeds itself into his spine.
Isn't symbiote a Marvel specific thing?
Well,
Or is it
no,
any alien thing that attaches to a person?
I assumed it was any alien that makes it like a
Sure.
host. That's what I assumed.
Yeah, I guess. I looked up the word, but it's talking about Marvel, so I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess. I don't really know.
I
I don't really
don't
care.
know. Yeah, so for whatever reason, he gets the scarab. The scarab connects itself to him, and it starts to embed itself into his mind and wants to fully integrate itself into its body. So then you get your standard chase scene where the bad guys want the symbiote back, so they start chasing him, and then the story unfolds that he starts to be able to use the powers, and he has to save the day by beating the bad guys with his newfound powers.
Mhm.
So a slight twist, which is not really a twist, is the bad guys were building up this other person to be the symbolic host, or whatever you want to call it, the symbiote host, because he was an ex-military person, but the symbiote has to choose you and
Yeah,
has to deem you worthy. And
very
then
convenient.
very, very convenient. Everything about this film was convenient. Like, I wanted to like it. I went in there with high hopes, and
Yep,
I was
I didn't.
disappointed within not even the first half of the act one. I was like, oh, okay, this is what you're giving me.
Yep,
I was sad. I was sad.
it was it's fucking nothing.
I don't even know what to positively say about the film. Like I don't.
No, literally. The only thing I can the only thing I can say is that good Hispanic characters. The family's fun. I would have preferred this movie as like a more like down to earth fucking family trying to save their home sort of movie. Like before this became a superhero movie, it was kind of better. The
Yeah,
uncle, I forget his name,
yeah.
the one who drove the Toyota Tacoma, the Hilux,
Oh yeah.
Rudy. Um, he was like really fun. I like him as a character. He was, dicking around a fair bit and was always very chaotic. His sister was probably the best actor out of the lot. Um, there's a lot of just characters yelling, a
Oh my
lot.
god, the nana.
The Nana. Oh, stop.
why did they force that so hard?
I know. It's like rapping grandmas when they're like, oh, it'd be funny if grandmas could rap. And all those YouTube videos came out of like rapping nanas and shit. This is the same thing.
The nana's got a minigun. Oh, nana, why can you hold a minigun?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
why?
I didn't expect to see Susan Sarandon in a fucking DC superhero movie as well. Made me feel
Yeah.
like they wanted Sigourney Weaver, but I couldn't afford her.
So like, oh, this will do. I guess,
Yeah, this is very bad. This was way worse than Monkey King.
yeah. Uh, for the most part, I would say it's okay performances, but
Yep,
it is the most predictable story and unoriginal
yep,
story. I think
yep.
that is the best way I can put it.
But this is how I see all superhero films now. Like this to me, like yes, it's terrible and it's the same generic bullshit. But that's the thing, it's the same generic bullshit. I can't separate this from Shazam 2. I can't separate this from The Flash that much. The Flash was better just because there was a bit more like unique story with the whole like training his twin sort of thing. His clone, not clone, he's himself, I guess. Um, yeah, this was more generic than anything, those sort of levels, but still felt the same. Like I'm gonna
Mm,
forget this in a heartbeat. Just like I've already forgotten every single thing that happened in Shazam 2.
except for the
Yeah.
Skittles, taste the rainbow.
Except that's literally the only thing I remember. And
Well,
I'm gonna remember the nanas in this probably and Rudy.
well, Shazam 2, there was three bad guys or three bad women. Depends how you want to
Yep.
do it.
One
And
of them
then,
was Lucy
well,
Lou.
yeah, one of them was a younger girl who then falls in love with the guy on crutches who gets powers, and then they lose the
Oh yeah,
powers,
sure.
and then they have to charge in with all the random Skittle scary
Yeah, I already feel
horses
like I like
thingers.
Shazam better now.
Yeah,
I stopped watching this towards the end. Like we were messaging because I knew what finished this like when we just before we started podcast. Those listening, um, and we were talking like, you want to start recording now? I was like, oh look, I've still got half an hour left of watching Blue Beetle, and Ryan was like, you could probably end it early.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna watch it. I need the fuel. I need to know why I don't like it. Same reason I've watched all the Twilight movies.
Okay.
But I stopped watching. I could
Yeah.
not pay attention. I got mad at it. Like I was wasting my time.
Well, I started to do the objectives on FIFA 23 to help me for EA Sports FC,
Yeah.
where I'll be
Yeah.
able to get packs for to start my ultimate team.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, like it
Yeah,
was just
I started doing Photoshop stuff. I started making things for a friend for her advertising. I started doing other bits and pieces on my computer because I could not sit here and watch it.
no, it was just it was hard to watch. It was nothing. It was
Nothing
just
happened.
a nothing film
Yeah.
where
Fart in the wind.
yeah,
People need to stop making. What was the budget for this? I need to look that up.
I reckon it'll
People
be
need to
pretty.
stop throwing money at shit like this.
I reckon it'll be pretty high. This it felt
104 million. Not
yeah
that much. I
no,
mean,
but
Barbie was more.
yeah, still it's a lot of CGI, like a lot.
Yeah, but that's cheap CGI. 104 million for yeah. That's
Mm,
that's that's not that much considering how much of this was CGI.
mm, yeah. Well,
It's bad.
what would you give it?
It's it's like a point 0.5.
Then? Yeah,
It's definitely lower than Monkey King. It's
I'm
not
with you there. I
entertaining in
reckon.
any facet. You reckon?
Yeah,
Oh
point
man, this could
point.
already be one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I'm with you with point 0.5 on that. Like I struggled with it.
Yep.
Even even Miguel, he wasn't even really likable. Where he's extremely
No,
likable in Cobra Kai.
you keep calling him Miguel.
Yeah, see, like I really
Yeah,
like
Hammy.
Miguel.
He he himself was too generic. Like he just as much as he at least wasn't just a regular white man, he might as well have been in a lot of ways. The only part, like I said before, the only part that made him fun was his family.
Yeah,
Like his uncle and his sister were some of the best parts of the movie.
yep, yep. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
real
spend
bad.
spend that time watching the One Piece show instead. Go watch that.
Definitely.
Go watch that.
This just to put in perspective, now that I can do this, both giving it a point 0.5 puts it on the same sort of level as Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Dragon Age Absolution, and Paint.
Wow, wow.
I would watch. Would I watch this before Paint? That's tough.
I reckon
It's definitely on par.
I reckon I'd watch Paint over this.
Yeah, I reckon
Yeah,
so. I
Wow.
reckon so. Yeah,
There you go.
that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Well,
All right, next week.
next week we got Strays, which is the newest Will Ferrell voiceover of animals.
Fucking horrible.
Once Upon a Crime, which is
Yeah,
another Netflix one, which is from Japan. And then we've
yeah,
got
Japanese adaptation of Red Riding Hood and some like Grimm fairy tales. Yeah.
interesting. And then we've got You Are Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, which is Adam Sandler's newest one.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll see
Which
how
I had
that
no interest
goes.
in watching earlier, but Ryan
Mm,
wants to watch it, so here we go.
mm,
I got my way
mhm.
with Strays,
Yeah.
and actually, I suggested both the other ones, so that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wanted to see if Adam's gotten better or because his hustle film was real good. I really liked it. And
Yep.
then
And the Diamond one,
yeah,
uh,
Uncut or Rough
Uncut
Gems or
Gems.
something.
Yeah,
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 something like
yeah. It's
that.
pretty good.
Mm.
Forgettable, but pretty good.
Yeah. So who knows? We'll see. But you could be doing anything else, but you're here listening to us. So all we ask is you tell your friends. Tell
Tell
them
your
all.
friends.
Tell them all. And we'll
You
see you guys next week. Please.
love yous.